one of the big issues and problems that over here is that when you confuse millions with billions. Now I understand it's a zero. Now if you guys look up the definition of a zero in the dictionary, what's it going to tell you? It means nothing. So I assume that Outa decided that it's not going to make any difference to people if you confuse millions with billions. But I think it does have a major implication in terms of what happens to us. We all know that the international community is busy looking at us as a country. The money that we spend on our infrastructure, how well is the money spent on the infrastructure, how well is the infrastructure actually maintained as we go ahead. Now we've said for years, and a number of you, we have spoken to you guys over the years, either through Parliament or one-on-one or telephone or whatever it is. But there's a number of you that I've spoken to over the years, where we kept on highlighting to all of you the importance of a good transport infrastructure, what the cost of the transport infrastructure is, but more importantly, what the cost to the country is if we do not have a good transport infrastructure. You know that, we had that panel discussions. Alex, my colleague, referred to the to the steering committee, and we published all the numbers. We've actually shown the numbers. But the question arises is that this project has gone to court 5 different times, if you will recall, twice to the Constitutional Court. So the question arises is that why is there such an insistence? Why is there such an insistence from this organization called Outa to try and question and denigrate the integrity of Sunday? Their own numbers that you've seen over there, they've confused millions with billions. They have taken various ranges of the projects where they have not been truthful in indicating to any one of us over here their variation. Their own expert calculation shows that it's only 150%, 152%. But why do they go ahead for that headline grabbing 321%? It would have been extremely useful if at the time that Outa came out with the report, the necessary questions would have been asked at the time in terms of the accuracy of the calculations, rather than just blindly and glibly accepting that what they are saying to us is correct. It's very unfortunate that that is the situation that we find ourselves in here today, that we can show them very clearly that what they had done so could be regarded as a deliberate misrepresentation. Deliberate misrepresentation. One is to denigrate Sanral's integrity, and there's various kind of allegations that they've made against us over here, when no court in the country has found Sanral to be corrupt or anything of that sort. No court. Go back and remember what the Constitutional Court also said, the judges in the Constitutional Court said. Now I'm not going to try and quote them because I'm going to quote them incorrectly over here, and before I see that that's the headline around over here. So I'm not going to quote them, but please have a look at it. The judge had very, very clearly said that there was no corruption as far as the GFIP is concerned. So why do they do this? And I think one needs to question this. Is there a different motive for Outa to do this, as opposed to trying to say that we should be actually encouraging respect for the laws of our country? But what do they do instead? They encourage lawlessness. And I hope that all of you here in this room here today will agree with me that none of us can be selective in terms of which law we will respect or obey and which we won't. Now, I just need to remind everybody over here that those people who said that the toll roads in Gauteng are illegal, etc., and so forth, you're all aware of the case about the gentleman who appeared in front of the chief magistrate of Tshwane, and that he was found guilty. Magistrate did not find him not guilty. He was found guilty. with the result that, if I recall, that he had to pay all the fees that were owed. He was fined, but given a suspended sentence for 5 years. So that means if he doesn't pay his toll fees any longer, he's going to come and appear in that and answer for his sins. Now, who are we, the rest of us, then to turn around and try and keep on misleading the public by saying that the toll roads in Gauteng are illegal? What that shows is a disrespect for our judiciary. That is what that shows for us. We need to show a higher degree of respect for our judiciary. And I think we'll all agree that if we don't, as to what the situation is. Now, even you look at Mr. Kondo from the World Bank, where he talks about the variation of the cost. There's not a single report that we've looked at which doesn't caution against the manner in which we use these particular reports and the results. Because they've always been done for different purposes. They're not always presented for the purposes that the GFOP was done.